Welcome to the McGrady Sports Podcast, home of all of your hot takes and long shower cries. We are your hosts, Chasey McGrady and Ben Grainger, bringing you all of your up-to-date fantasy sport needs. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I am your host, Chasey McGrady.
And I'm Ben Grainger, and this is the second official podcast?
Yeah, this is the second official podcast. We're going to recap our first week of the Major League Baseball and PGA season.
All right, that sounds great. PGA was a blast. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, well, do we want to start off with the Masters? We can start off with the Masters.
Why not? Let's start off with the one that we didn't get.
Yeah, so I had a brain fart this week on Thursday. Wednesday
morning, Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
I just had a big brain fart, thinking that I could post the lineup for the Masters first thing Thursday morning, not realizing or remembering that golf tournaments start
way earlier than we were imagining.
Very early in the morning. Baseball games start at 1, football games, if you live on the West Coast, start at 10. Basketball games are always at night. My brain didn't process that the sporting event could start at 7 in the morning. So when I was making the lineup Wednesday night, it was about 2 in the morning when I submitted my lineups. And then I looked and I was like, oh, shit.
We don't have any time.
Yeah, this starts in like 4 hours. So I can either post a lineup and no one will get to it because it's 2 in the morning and normal people are sleeping. Or I can just eat it and then just explain it on this podcast, which is exactly what this podcast is here for.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing right now.
So I played a couple tournament lineups in the Masters. They sucked anyway. You didn't miss anything. I took a really high variance approach, and
it didn't pay off at all.
Like it does a lot. I ended up crying in the shower.
How long was that shower cry?
It was pretty long, especially on day 2. I had this guy, Mark Leishman, I'm not exactly sure how to say his name.
We can call him Leachy.
Leachy was about to make the cut, and then he bogeyed the last hole to not make the cut, so I just went straight to the shower. It was like, my life is over, Leachy.
Put it as hot as it gets. I gotta burn it away. Burn it away. Oh, man.
So that was rough.
My shower doesn't get that hot, so that's a great thing.
So in the future, starting this week, PGA tournament lineups will be posted Wednesday. I'm sorry. I know Masters is the biggest tournament of the year.
We bombed anyway.
Yeah, you missed nothing. I would feel bad if I won. I would try to redistribute the wealth somehow, but
the podcast probably wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, we've just retired the whole show.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, guys. It's a wonderful week. We're out.
So, we're sorry about that. It'll be fixed. This is still very rough around the edges of us trying to figure out our schedule with our actual day job.
Day-night job.
Yeah, all day job. And figuring out when the best time to post lineups is. I've been doing them first thing in the morning. And for whatever reason, my brain just told me, just post it Thursday morning, like no big deal, when it should have just been posted Wednesday.
Yeah. All right, so let's start with week 1 of baseball then. That covers PGA, Masters. I say that, and then let's go. Yeah,
so
opening day.
It was an uneventful week,
yeah,
to say the least.
I didn't cry too hard in the shower.
Yeah, not too much to cry about. We didn't even really we got a little close in some, but not really. We started on opening day. There were 3 or 4 games. I picked most of the favorite pitchers, and then I picked some least favorable batters, and that turned out how it normally does, where the pitchers do okay, and then the batters just don't show up at all. So nothing exciting there. Day 2, I picked some more high strikeout rate pitchers that were aces, and then I chose the Giants to go off, and they did. The Giants went off. They were like the 5th or the 6th highest team total that day, and they went off. The problem was that everyone was on the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw, and the chalky team went off there too. They won something like 15-0. So if you didn't have any exposure to them, which we didn't, you didn't do very well either. Blah.
Exactly. That's how I felt after that game. Just blah. Oh, Tuesday. Tuesday was a great day. What happened in the middle of Tuesday?
So Tuesday was a very fun day.
Yeah, it was great. Let me tell you. Let Chase actually tell you, since it happened directly to him.
So I'm at work Tuesday. I posted the lineups first thing in the morning. I wake up most days around, we'll start this fresh. I wake up most days around 6 or 7. I look at the slate for the day. I start opening up lineups, getting an idea of who I want to play and where I want to attack, using Vegas and a couple different websites to get an idea of where most people are going to be so I can zig where everyone else is zagging.
The website he's talking about is McGrady Sports. Those are the websites where he gets all of his information.
There are some websites where a lot of experts go. So I go there, get an idea of who they all like, and then I play everyone else. I'm getting off that train.
McGrady Sports all the way.
Yeah. I use ESPN's wonderful because everyone listens to ESPN, and ESPN spews hot garbage all the time. So I'm like, oh my god, ESPN thinks Dustin Johnson's going to play well this week. Everyone don't do that. That's random.
That's a great strategy, though.
So I wake up most days around 6 or 7. I try to get my lineups posted by 9 or 10, and then I try to get them on the site by 10 or 11 because most days I have to be at work around 10-ish. So I'm at work, I'm hanging out with Ben, I'm on my lunch break, and I get an email, my phone goes off. What's that noise that it makes, Ben?
That's his ringtone.
Exactly my ringtone. So that goes off in the middle of my lunch break while I'm trying to enjoy a nice chicken sandwich. And it's from FanDuel and Fantasy Draft. I get 2 emails. It's like, hey, we have free tournaments starting in 5 hours.
Sweet. That's great.
That's awesome.
But
there's no way for me to post it because I don't have my laptop.
Oh, no laptop. Big problem.
Yeah, so I look over to Ben and I'm like, hey, I just got an email from FanDuel on my phone saying there's a free tournament. And then immediately I was like, wait, is there any way for me to post this to the site from my phone? So I pull up Safari on my iPhone. I'm trying to get into the website, and the website won't let me into the administration page from my phone. Therefore, I didn't know what to do. So I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't do it. I didn't have time. I only had about 20 minutes left on my lunch break. So I just decided I was just going to make some lineups for both of these websites and play them. And then I told Ben, I was like, every single lineup this week is probably going to lose, but I guarantee these 2 that I play that I can't post because it's last minute are going to win.
And that's exactly what happened.
So lo and behold, that's what happened.
It wasn't a huge amount, so it's not like we took first.
No, we didn't take first. We just cashed. I made about
$4.
$4 from both of the sites combined. It's still shit. It's garbage.
It's a little bit of money, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have that out there for everyone to enjoy. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like, oh yeah, I just kind of like kept everyone else from winning.
In the dark.
Yeah.
Like, we turned the light bulb out of the socket and then flipped the breaker. So even if you put a new light bulb in there, you'd still be kind of like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, exactly. This stupid thing.
Yeah, so that's what happened. That's going to happen from time to time, correct?
Yeah, so a lot of these sites, especially FanDuel does this a lot, where they'll send you an email saying, hey, if you play in some tournament today, it's either a free tournament or they'll give you back like the money. So if you play in a tournament today for $2 and you lose, we'll just refund it to you.
Yeah, so it's free.
Yeah, so that happens a lot of the time in the middle of the day. So if you're on the sites and that happens, just jump in and do a free lineup.
I recommend you doing that regardless.
Yeah. The way we're going to try to resolve this problem is that I've found out that my iPad will give me administration access to the website. So I'll have my iPad every day at work. But every day at work, I don't always get lunch breaks. So there will be days where there are emails sent out that even I won't get to, that normal people that work 9 to 5s with actual lunch breaks have access to. So if you guys get those emails and you check the McGrady Sports page around 4 or 5 and nothing's up, just go ham yourself.
Go ham yourself.
Don't go ham yourself. Just, jeez. That went in a direction I wasn't comfortable with. So.
Put your own lineup in.
Yeah. And if you don't have any idea what you're doing, jump on the McGrady Sports website. There will already be free tournaments posted. Those lineups, or there'll be lineups posted for free tournaments, I'm sorry. And you can look.
We're not hosting tournaments at all.
Yeah, we're not hosting tournaments. You can look at the website, get an idea of which teams we're attacking, which pitchers we're attacking, and then just work around that, and you should be fine.
Yeah, we're the schematic. You're going to build something, and it's going to be off of our schematic.
Exactly. You'll get an idea of which teams we want to play, and then you'll just go from there, and you'll be fine. It'll be fine, because once again, it's no risk. You're just jumping in, you're playing for free, and if you win, you win. If you don't, it'll be fine.
Because it's not a risk.
Exactly. We're just trying to win free money right now.
We're just building slowly for football. So this is the time where we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have fun. We're not losing anything right here, so it's good to go. But Facebook could be something that we can possibly get to posting throughout the week, middle of the day kind of stuff. There's not always the time where me and Chase are both working doubles, but lately that has been happening. We're both constantly working at the restaurant, and that's a lot of fun. But it's also very time consuming, and it's very hard to come back. Just like we were saying about not necessarily having a lunch break sometimes. So if we get that email, sometimes we may also be able to get on Facebook or Twitter or something else like that and share maybe a lineup screenshot or maybe just the information that a new tournament has arrived. And if you guys want to be able to stay up to date with that stuff, you need to go ahead and subscribe, like, follow, share, do all of that stuff with all of our social media. Search McGrady Sports on any of these platforms, and you're going to find something.
Exactly. I think that's a really good idea. You need to be following us. If you're using just the website and you're just listening to the podcast.
Which the podcast is coming out very regularly at the moment.
The podcast will be coming out it should be loaded every Monday.
Yeah. Well, today is day 2 of podcast.
So the podcast will be out every Monday or Tuesday, barring any catastrophic setback. So at the beginning of the week, you'll have your podcast. But if you're just listening to the podcast or you're just listening to or just reading the articles from the website, go on Facebook, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, make an account, follow McGrady Sports. We really don't like Twitter a lot, but it might be perfect for a situation where we just need to throw out a lineup or let you know there's a free tournament in the middle of the day.
Exactly, and that's what's going to happen. So, yeah. Well, go ahead and get on there. What are you waiting for?
So moving on, I guess some other strategies that we tried this week in our free tournaments were we stacked high pitchers with high strikeout rates in situations where they might not get the win, and then we added some teams that had high team totals but not the highest. So everyone's attacking the Rockies and the Diamondbacks and the Reds and the Brewers at home. I wanted to attack games somewhere in the middle of the road where the offenses are good, but they're not in a great position, but you're hoping that the cards fall right that day and that you're in the black. So an ideal situation would be there's a game at Coors Field, everyone plays those players, maybe the game gets rained out, maybe those players just don't play well that day, the pitchers actually show up, and then the Mets or someone in the middle of the road goes off. That's what we're going to be going after most days.
Have we already talked about the weather and how that affects our playlist?
No, we haven't talked about the weather.
Oh, well, that's cool because I love rainy days. Those are my favorite.
So, a strategy attacking the weather. Sometimes games are going to look like they're going to rain out, and people are going to avoid those games. What I'm hoping is that those games just have a small enough window to start. Maybe they start with a delay, and then the games start, go an inning or two, and then they get delayed again. Because once those starters come out, the game is active, and the game is ready to play on DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever site we are using. Typically, if a game starts, it goes an inning or two, the starters come in, then it goes on a rain delay for an hour, those starters are done for the day. Then it's just going to be bullpen guys, which is exactly what you want to get to anyway for your batters. You want them to be facing pitchers from the bullpen because those pitchers typically are a lot less effective. So the hope is that a game starts, goes on a delay, and then starts again an hour or so later. No one has access to those players because they're worried about the game being postponed. The bullpen comes out, the hitters go off, the game ends up being like a 12-10 score game, and we have access to all of these runs that no one else does. Now what's going to happen most days is the game's going to get rained out.
Yeah, most of the time that's exactly what's going to happen.
So you're going to plug in a DraftKings lineup with a bunch of players from 2 games because you have to play at least 2 games. So we'll have one player on a dummy game and then everyone else from a game that's going to rain out. So he might post a lineup that scores 0 points.
And a lot of times you're going to be like, wait, none of these guys are playing.
Yeah.
What's going on? What is Chase doing today?
Why would they play all these people from this one game that rained out?
Well, little did you know.
That was the strategy. And since these lineups are posted in the morning, I don't have time to go back. It's really ineffective for me to post a lineup in the morning and then find out an hour before the tournament starts at 7 that the game's been postponed, and then go on the website and post again an entirely new lineup. I'm just not going to jump back and forth like that. If I feel comfortable attacking a rainout game, I'm just going to attack it, and if it gets postponed, whether it's at 2 o'clock or 6:30 or 10 o'clock at night, they finally postpone it, we're just going to ride it. It's a free tournament. We're not losing any money, and we're just trying to come in that top 1 or 2%, and it's a really effective way to get there. Another thing that's going to start happening a lot, I don't know, I kind of want to go on my weatherman rant again.
The weatherman don't know shit!
Exactly. So another reason we're going to attack these games is because people are following the weather, and they see the games are going to rain out.
But guess what? My weatherman tells me sometimes it's going to rain, but it doesn't rain.
Exactly.
It doesn't rain.
Ben, you ever been like, I've called Ben before and been like, hey, Ben, it's pouring down at my place.
And I'm out there with the T-ball and my kid throwing pitches.
So it's funny. Like, it can rain in a city, but not rain everywhere in a city. So just because Cincinnati, for example, is supposed to get thunderstorms, maybe a certain part of the city doesn't get thunderstorms.
Maybe the West Side story is that it's not raining, and somewhere else it is.
Exactly. So we're hoping there's just like a small circle around the stadium where the rain's just downpouring in the parking lot, and the stadium's fine.
Yeah. The grass is green on the inside.
Yeah. And weathermen are stupid.
Yeah. Ed Piotrowski.
Actually, we'll probably end up cutting that out.
We'll save that rough cut, too.
Of our 17 listeners, I bet 4 of them are weathermen. They're like, this shit. These guys don't respect us. They think we're wrong all the time. Look at those lineups. They're garbage.
Ed Piotrowski, #1 subscriber.
We might as well just call ourselves the weathermen of daily fantasy sports.
Oh, that could be our slogan. We're the weathermen.
We're going to be wrong all the time.
Giving you the forecast you forgot about.
So another thing that's going to happen a lot, especially now, is random players are going to start getting days of rest. This happened on Friday and especially Saturday. Saturday I had a player named Zach Cosart who plays shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. He's been leading off every game. I posted lineups Saturday morning, had him in a lot of them, most of them actually, and then he sat out, he didn't play. This is unfortunate, and this is going to happen quite a bit. So one advantage is that nobody's playing Zach. Most people are going to see that he's not playing, so they're going to take him out of their lineup and sub him out. An advantage for us is that at some point in the game, he could be subbed in, and when he's subbed in to pinch hit or play defense, he could hit a home run, slap a double, and if he does that, we get those points, and nobody has access to him except for us. The bad news is that that's extremely unlikely. Most days he sits out, he's probably actually just going to sit out and actually rest. So, if you notice a lineup has a player that isn't playing and you have time before the game starts at 6 or 7 o'clock, just take the player that's playing for that person. They're almost always the same price. They're usually cheaper, actually, and just sub that person in. Or look at the lineup, see which 3 teams we're stacking. So, for example, if we have Reds players and Mets players and Pirates players, take whichever player isn't playing out of the lineup and just pick another player from one of those 3 teams and just sub them in.
Or you could keep our same lineup and just hope he slaps a double.
Exactly. Coming in and slapping a double.
Slap a double. It's your call. We're just here giving you the lineups.
Yeah, there's no wrong way to do it. We're looking for volatile things to happen.
No, this is not predictability.
Yeah.
Milkman, the Paperboy, the Evening TV.
So going into next week, we're going to use a lot of the same strategies we used this week. We'll attack some rainout games. We'll use lineups that stack some batters from middle-of-the-road teams as far as team totals are concerned. We'll pair them with some pitchers with high K upside, but maybe not the necessarily best favorable matchups. And we'll use that to try to optimize our chances at getting low ownership players. I'll probably start throwing in some backups a lot, hoping that they play, but not knowing necessarily that they are going to. Trying to hit the other side of the guys sitting situation that we have. So expect a couple more lineups this week with players that are going to be put in that are going to end up not playing.
We're also going to be trying our best to take care of the problems that we ran into on Tuesday concerning the tournament that we got emailed about. We're looking forward to making that mistake not happen again.
That's a really good point. We'll be focusing on emails and trying to get those to Twitter, to Facebook, get those lineups posted somehow. They might not be as clean and polished as what's normally on the site, but we just want to make sure the content's out there so that you guys can effectively use it.
Yes, make sure you're on all of our social stuff. All of the social stuff. Guys, with that, I feel like we can start wrapping this up. I think that's about all that we have to talk about today on the second episode of the McGrady Sports Podcast. My name is Ben Grainger.
I'm Chasey McGrady.
And it's been fun.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye!
And speaking of mistakes, we're going to try our best to fix the Masters incident. With the Heritage Club tournament coming up this week, we'll hopefully get a free lineup into the tournament, whether it's on DraftKings or FanDuel or wherever. We'll try to get some PGA action actually going on the website so that we can try to make some cash.
We can probably omit the basketball section at this point. Peace.